Hey everyone, welcome back to the Extraordinary Self podcast. Today I am discussing a subject that was born out of my last podcast episode on energy leaks. And I spent a little time discussing how when we stay stuck in our past, it removes energy from our life and power from our life. And so that got me going and thinking about this topic about transforming the past, what it means to alchemize your past. And I know that word sounds kind of magical, right? Like turning something dark and heavy into something meaningful and even beautiful. But this isn't going to be a sugar-coated, everything happens for a reason talk. No, this is going to be about the hard-earned kind of transformation, the honest kind, the kind where you feel the fire and you choose to walk through it anyway. I want to break down what it means to alchemize your past emotionally, spiritually, even somatically, and how you can start shifting your relationship with your story in a way that actually heals you. Okay, so let's talk about the word alchemy. Historically, it meant turning lead into gold, something ordinary, heavy, raw, into something precious. Now, when we talk about emotional or spiritual alchemy, we're talking about this, taking your disappointment, your heartbreak, your this shouldn't have happened moment, and using it as raw material to grow something new. Not forgetting it, not dismissing it, but using it. It's not really about rewriting history, it's about rewriting the meaning. Here's the thing, pain is inevitable. We're all going to get hurt. But staying stuck in that story, that's optional. Now, here's where things get a little interesting. I've been reading about quantum physics, dabbling in here and there throughout the last few years, and I've come across some concepts that are way beyond my understanding at the moment. And I can't put all the dots together, but there have been certain theories or aspects of the theories that have really impressed me and have given me, like, if I was that emoji, like where your head is exploding, I've had those moments with quantum physics. So there's this wild idea that the observer changes the outcome, meaning just by looking at something, you affect it. You shift the field. So what happens when you revisit a painful moment? Not from the place of being in it, but from the place of being above it. You shift it. Not what happened, but how it exists in your body, in your mind. You're literally collapsing an old frequency and creating space for a new one. So when you say, for example, I was abandoned, and that means I'm unlovable, you lock yourself into that vibration. But when you revisit it and say, I was abandoned, and now I know how deeply I needed to belong, I'm choosing to give that to myself now. You shifted everything. That's alchemy. That's quantum healing. I would regret not sharing and bringing to your attention who I think is one of the greatest alchemists, Christ himself. I have to bring this in because for me, he is the truest alchemist. He's the healer. He's the friend, the God who doesn't avoid pain. He walks into it. He touches the wounds. He doesn't say, get over it. He says, let me sit with you in it. When I think about healing, I think about Jesus washing feet, holding space, forgiving, loving people who felt unlovable. And when I invite him into my process, not as some faraway judge, but as a present companion, I can breathe again. He doesn't shame my pain, he transforms it. And for me, this is why I consider him the ultimate alchemist. If you've never experienced a relationship like that, which I call supernatural and miraculous, but nevertheless tangible, real, and something you can reach to now and anytime, he can transform things for you. Let's talk about the nervous system for a second. Your body stores memories. Yes, even emotional ones. that pit in your stomach, that tension in your chest, that I don't know why I always react this way thing, that's the body remembering. And alchemizing pain isn't just a mindset thing, it's a nervous system thing. You can't think your way into healing. You've got to feel your way through it safely, slowly, kindly. So instead of saying what's wrong with me when these emotions come up, when these knee-jerk responses come up, try asking, what does my body still believe is unsafe? And then breathe. Come back to the now. Let God meet you in your body and not just your brain. We oftentimes want to use logic in our head and mindset games and mindset shifts, but our nervous system has to be rewired. We need to learn how to feel that experience differently. And we do it by revisiting it. But like I said, looking from above from it, from outside of it, not that you are it, that pain, that experience, that disappointment. You need to look from outside, looking in, and realize you can transform that pain. You can rewrite what it means to you, and it needs to happen in your body. So if you're still stuck, if you still suffer, if you're still holding grudges and pain and it's debilitating, or sadness, or you feel like you can't move on because of some experiences from your past, either due to your own choices or other people, you're living it over and over in your body. And you need to rewire that. You need to reteach it to feel different, to interpret the feelings differently. So there was a moment in my life where I felt like everything kind of was burning and was falling apart. And it was a difficult time in my life. I didn't think anything was going to survive, or I had no idea what was going to survive from that time period. But somehow, somewhere inside, I kept hearing and visualizing the phoenix, that story. And if you know it, you know that she doesn't survive the fire. She dies in it, and then she rises. And that became my symbol. I took the phoenix as my symbol for a couple years in my life. And it was like a promise to myself that even if everything I thought was turning into ash, I will rise again, and I will rise as something truer. So if right now you're in the fire, you're not failing. You're becoming, and more so, you're remembering the true essence of who you are before that hurt, before that pain, before that thing that began to define you and take over your life. So here's the truth. Because we live in this world, to love is to risk being hurt. To try something new is risk at failing. To live is risk of being exposed to the world, to rejection, to disappointment. But the alternative is hiding, and hiding is a slow death. So we take the risk. We live, we open, we let people in. And yes, they might hurt us, but they also might heal us. Everyone who comes into your life is playing a role. Some are teachers, some are testers, some are mirrors. Not all are meant to stay, but all are meant to shape. So whatever experience, whether it was your own doing or a combination of somebody else or a choice, whatever it was, it can take a form in any of these. It can play that role because you're going to determine that. You're going to choose to transform that experience for something that you can use today to become and be the person that you want to be, to live in that state. So what is right now the lead in your life? What's the heaviness you're carrying? Can you hold it with new eyes? Can you sit with it? Invite Christ into it and ask, what are you trying to become in me? You don't have to fix it all today. You just have to stay open to the alchemy. The phoenix doesn't rise because she avoids the fire. She rises because she lets it transform her. And so will you. I hope, my dear friends, that you get to experience what it means to feel your past differently. It's like that phoenix rising. I hope you get to experience that, my friends. I have in my life, and it's a beautiful thing. And this is why I think I live more confidently today, because anything that comes my way, I can use this, the power of alchemy, to transmute and transcend that experience for my benefit. I'm going to include some journal prompts for you in the show notes. I won't go through all those questions now, but take a look at that. And these journal prompts will be super helpful right now to determine what experiences are you still reliving in the same place and what's keeping you stuck in your body. And maybe what have you brushed under the rug and tried to forget as opposed to alchemize for your good. Let me know if you resonated with this idea of alchemizing your past, of turning it into something new and having new, fresh eyes at that experience and looking at it in a different way. If you've experienced that, share that with me on Instagram, send me a comment, DM me. I would love to hear how you have done this in your life. And I hope you can alchemize your past for your good. And I look forward to hearing from you. Till next time.